softball. I wish I would have been able to get on the softball team, but I don't know how that works. So I play volleyball for like a minute. Let's go!
Get jacked up. Let's get jacked up.
How about that jacked up podcast?
Today's episode is kind of more directed towards kind of a recap and then some other news that we have coming up with some things starting. So I guess recap on our trip up to South Dakota, where coincidentally enough, the trip we've been planning for 2 months now, LJ just happened to start.
Yeah.
Can you do that into the microphone? Yeah, that's what.
Can you hear that? So, can you hear it?
Right. Well, that was great.
You told me to do it.
Okay. But yeah, so we got the chance to finally go up there, and obviously this is a week later to come out, but
Got kind of busy.
life is well, catching up right now
Yeah.
between, for me at least, between school, work, having a life outside of a podcast.
Yeah.
But once we reach the point where I don't have to work a job, that'd be ideal.
Oh yeah. So like, subscribe maybe.
Maybe.
Like, don't just fucking watch the videos and then scroll away.
All right.
You know who I'm
anyways.
talking to. Okay.
So I guess so kind of a little basic recap for those of you that which I'm assuming every person that's watching this is gonna know what LJ did. But so I guess we went up
Damn.
there.
Said that like committed a crime or something.
No.
Everybody watching this, like we all know what he did. Like,
The Secret Service has now arrested an armed man.
That Diddy episode got scrapped. So
yeah. So don't know all.
I'll have to
the
bring back
background.
a different slideshow
We'll
covering that sometime.
definitely do that.
But yeah, so I guess for those of you that don't know, we went up for the South Dakota game against Northern Colorado, and it was a good game. Went to overtime. South Dakota won in overtime, and with that was LJ's first start, which we did not know until
Right before.
a few days before.
Yeah.
It was after they found out the unfortunate news that their starter Charles Pierre, however you say his name, last name, was not. He had a season-ending injury the week before, so LJ kind of stepped in that game about halfway through, took the wheel, and
ran with it.
ran with it from there.
It.
I mean, that game he put up
60.
like 60.
Yeah.
I don't think he had any touchdowns that game, did he?
No, it
Yeah.
was just 60 yards.
Yeah. So whenever we get up there, and then we're also going to put together a whole little put out there for that. But I guess whenever we got up there, got to stay at LJ's, meet some of his linemen that support him, and make it easy for what he does, because the line was actually cooking that game.
Yes, yeah,
So-
they were. I remember him talking about when we went back that they were making huge gaps for him.
Yeah, and it seemed like it translated to the Drake game as well too.
Yeah.
And obviously next week they have North Dakota State, so that'll be the
Tougher game.
Yeah, real test of where they're at and whatnot. But so I guess for LJ stats, he came out and put out 35 rushes for 301 yards, which that alone was the second most in South Dakota's history of them being a school.
D1.
Yeah, and then for them being a school, that was the most rushing yards, with South Dakota being a D1 football team. So LJ was the first with them being a D1 team, second all time, when including before they became D1. And then additionally to that, he was the fifth rusher in Missouri Valley Conference history to have 300 plus yards in a game.
Yeah.
So,
but to push that point, like, this is school history.
Yeah.
Like, he was like putting his name in the history book right there.
Yeah. And a guy that, was kind of looked at to be the number 2 this year, kind of took over that number 1 spot, and hopefully doesn't turn back. So props to him for being a guy that sits right next to us and does this and then goes on the football field and does that.
Yeah, for sure.
So so then I guess additionally to those rushes, 35 rushes, 301 yards. His longest run was a 47-yard run. That game he put up 2 touchdowns. He had 2 receptions for 17 yards as well.
Yeah.
And so it was something that was really cool to see. It was kind of interesting hearing a lot of people talk about it because for me, it was something like talking with LJ's dad and then talking to my family. It's like it wasn't like it was something crazy to me, like a lot of people there were like acting like it was insane that he did that. But for me, it was just like that was kind of the normal out of him. It's just he finally had that opportunity.
He got the opportunity.
Yeah, he finally had the opportunity to run with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like stuff like that I've been seeing out of him his whole life. And like obviously, as we've talked, like there's a transition from little league to high school, from high school to college, and so as normal as it felt to me, it truly was kind of crazy to do at that next level.
Yeah, no, obviously my perception of it was different than yours because I met LJ, I think it was sophomore year.
Yeah.
Like before he committed to South Dakota. So I didn't get to see him play. I mean, we played against him, but I don't really remember him in Little League football. And high school, like I didn't even know he was like that.
Yeah.
Like I'd see him like make plays and stuff, but I didn't know he was like that.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Like he surprised me when he got the opportunity. So
so I'm excited that he got the opportunity and ran with it, and it wasn't just a little 1-game spree. I mean, as we can talk about the following week against Drake, he put up a little bit over 150.
It was 148.
Yeah, 148 off X amount of rushes. It was like 7 yards a carry, and then he had 2 receptions or 4 receptions, if I remember right. They were throwing the ball around. I think he was like second leading receiver or third. And the first leading receiver, fun fact, was a sophomore out of Independence, Missouri.
Oh, really?
I believe, yeah. So he's like Kansas City area.
Yeah.
So another kind of local guy in a sense of Kansas area. So that aspect of it was pretty cool. Midwest or Kansas area guys putting himself on the map and whatnot. So
even that the lineman that he was talking about that was for him he was at K-State. So
and he was from it's at a town right out of Colby, Kansas as well. So,
out of Colby, Kansas.
So Kansas, Colorado border, but still Kansas pipeline in a sense, So that was cool to see and whatnot. A lot of the Kansas people, which is kind of what this whole idea of this podcast is kind of based off of, And so it was cool to go up there and see Kansas-based guys really excel at that next level and whatnot. And it's what all of us are looking to see, especially us kind of involved and those that have come in and be involved with this podcast. And especially like we've been talking, like, the little documentary of the Kansas grind or Wichita hustle, whatever it is, and really cool to kind of see some of those people put themselves on the map with that,
Definitely,
So I guess like moving forward as well, when we were up there, we got to take advantage of kind of seeing what it was like almost to be a student at South Dakota. And so that aspect of it was really cool. South Dakota is kind of one of those places that you're either there to be an athlete or you're there in Greek life. And so we were fortunate enough that Beta Theta Pi, my fraternity, they have a chapter up there as well. And so we got to go up there, see their chapter. They were very open arms to us, coming and seeing everything. We got a house tour, and it was really cool to see the comparisons of kind of like what's normal to us to seeing what it's like up there,
We'll shout them out too. We'll add them.
And it was cool, up there. Their house was really cool. All their people were excited for the game, all going to the game. And so we can kind of get into this little fun story. So,
well, I will also add that, like, we kind of showed up, they kind of forgot. That But
the one guy didn't communicate with anybody. I was just texting their Instagram, their public Beta Theta Pi University of South Dakota account.
Yeah, so they didn't know we were going to go there. Or they did, but only one of the guys. But when we showed up, they were very welcoming. They were really cool. So
no, it was one of those things of like, hey, how can we help you? And
they were really
I told them the situation, and they were like, oh, they're like, awesome. And so then, sure enough, later another guy pops up and he's
Yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell everybody you
Yeah.
guys were coming." And but like by then they were all like we were already chatting it up
Yeah,
with
yeah.
everybody and stuff
Gave
like
us
that.
gave us a spot to stay if we needed it too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So it was pretty cool. It was really cool to see the environment up there because I would say that a lot of it is very parallel to Wichita State.
yeah, yeah,
And so it was cool to see some of the immediate parallels, but then also some of the very different things. And
yeah.
so I will say shout out to South Dakota Beta. That was pretty
Yep.
cool to see all that up there.
It was awesome.
But then also kind of the environment that they have with their alumni, and then kind of connecting that into football in a sense, you know. So first we got up, we left around 8 whenever LJ left a little bit before us. He left at like 7:30. We ended up leaving around 8. And when we were up there, we got to do a few things, but first we made our walk over to the house because where LJ stays is right down the street from the fraternities and sororities and all those houses. So it was cool to see all those houses and whatnot. We pull up, kind of the story Caden was saying. Not everybody knew who we were at first.
Yeah.
And so when that all happened, I was like, oh gosh, well, like what's about to go on?
To be awkward.
And it was very cool to not see what you would assume from a fraternity, like in a movie. You know, they were
like,
very.
What are you doing here?
Yeah.
Name 5 brothers.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so they were very open into us coming up there and gave us the house tour. House was sick, how they had everything set up. But then to kind of tally off that, we all left, went and ate some breakfast. They were going up to the tailgate, and it was cool. So they have up in South Dakota, they had 2 different tailgates, and we can throw some photos in there of that and videos. They have one that is for the students, and then they have that's put on for the students, and so that's right outside of the gates before you kind of get into the parking lot. And so out there, it was really cool to see the support from the community, especially the college community, with the football team. You know, granted it was the home opener, but it was like you're walking up and you're seeing tents everywhere. I mean, it was big enough. They had like 8 porta potties lined up out there.
They had a whole live band too.
Yeah, live band was going. They had an area where you can go and get food. I don't know if you had to show an ID or anything like student ID to see it or get any of it and whatnot, but like it was a cool environment how they have it set up there.
Yeah.
And then kind of like to tally off of the Beta side, Beta has their alumni. What they do is not Beta themselves, but their alumni. They have their area where they have a few parking spots, and so all their alumni have their tailgate going on, and then the Beta has their tailgate as well with how all the other fraternities are set up as well. And so it was cool to go over there and meet with some alumni and stuff. And so kind of a little funny story I was getting into earlier was we get up there and we're talking to some alumni. It was alumni's wife, and he also, and so we're talking to the alumni wife, and she's like, "So where are you guys from? X, Y, and Z." You're telling them we're from down here, and then it turned into they don't like KU thing.
Play the song.
Yeah, however that came about, and but then we're talking to them. They're like, "So what brought you guys up here?" And we're like, we have one of our friends on the football team. He's came up to see him play and whatnot. And so then it turned into a whole conversation about it. Then we're talking about WSU and stuff, and then we tell them, they kind of like talks about how the starting running back got hurt. Some other people around and how they were just going to be terrible and get destroyed and all this and that, So that was. So I was like, well, we're actually coming up to see our guy, our buddy LJ. He's the guy that's going to be starting. And so it was funny. Like everybody that was like, so who are you guys staying with? They all knew who LJ was, And I don't know if that's a small town, kind of put it into retrospect. Think of like, it's smaller than Wichita, smaller than Derby. Like for those of you in the area that are familiar with it, it's kind of like a Mulvane with Wichita State and Mulvane. Yeah. Like that's like the ideal comparison, or like the closest comparison you can give to it,
Like pretty much all they have there is a Walmart, the college, and a few small Aldi's. They got Aldi's. A Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply.
Yeah, a lot of tractor places on the way there and up there. But yeah, and so these people were like, they heard that we were coming there to see LJ, and some of them were just like, yeah, we'll see how it goes. And then one of the guys, before he knew we were there with LJ, he was like, yeah, it's like our starting running back got hurt. He was like, Charles is hurt, so we're going to get blown out by 60 today, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So time goes on, and I guess we'll kind of wrap back around to this story a little bit later. But we end up going in, and we got to hang out with LJ's old roommate, Beckett DeJean, and so it was cool to catch up with him. He's no longer playing football, just kind of getting to live life as a student, it was cool to see him and hang out and whatnot. And so
it was cool to talk to him and have his experience in the stands, hanging out in the stands with him too.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
And he's a guy that we were supposed to get him on up there. We ended up leaving a little bit earlier than planned, but shout out Beckett. We're still gonna get you on there.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So, and he has some really cool stories to talk about. I got to go to the Super Bowl, so it was cool to hear about his Super Bowl experience, which, like, if we get him on here, we'll get to kind of go a little bit more in depth to some of those things.
Definitely.
But anywho, we get in the stadium, and it was insane, the comparison from 2 years ago when I went to the game with you to this year. The stadium was packed compared to what it was. And with South Dakota being a dome, and like being in a small town, you don't see a huge turnout it doesn't look as full as it really is due to
how big the stadium
how big it is, And I will say, I felt like they did a good job at filling the side that the student section was on, in the sense of it looked a lot more full than before.
Yeah. Also, that was the difference, is we got to sit in the student section.
Yeah.
Beckett brought us to the student section instead of us going with the families.
Uh-huh.
And I think that also, I mean, for me, it was pretty cool kind of being in that atmosphere of everybody going crazy instead of, the fans or the parents, they're kind of chill. They're older guys or older people. So it was cool being with the students.
Yeah, for sure. And then we're sitting in the stands, and behind us, they're just like, for info, LJ's number 24. And so they're sitting behind us, just these younger kids, definitely freshmen.
Yeah, for sure.
And just the way they're talking, and every time LJ comes out, come on, why are you taking 2-4 out? He's the only one doing anything. 2-4 the ball. Every time he comes in, oh, we're good. 2-4 is going to, he's in there. We're good. And it was just so funny to hear, like kind of like us, kind of like I think about this, like us geeking out about like the NFL players and stuff like that. Oh, we got Patrick Mahomes, we're good, and then in like this nature, it's like our Patrick Mahomes in a sense, or like for us with Notre Dame, like our Jordan Love, not Jordan Love, Jeremiah Love, is LJ in their story. And so it was just cool to think about that, and like those of you that know LJ too, is kind of one of those things to. LJ's like viewed as one of those guys now.
He's the guy, pretty much.
I feel like we're on here just glazing, but like it was truly like a really cool experience to see. Having 7,000 probably people cheering, 5,000, 7,000 people cheering for.
I think there's more than 7,000.
Yeah,
there's definitely way more than 7,000.
Yeah, like just sitting there cheering in that stadium for the guy that. You're staying at his house. You host a podcast with. It was just a cool experience, and so like that whole aspect of it was real funny. And then once halftime hit, we came back to student section for a little bit. Eventually, we hit a 180 to kind of go over on the side that we were supposed to sit on.
With the parents. And stuff.
With the parents, and so then we go over there, chatting it up with LJ's dad for a little bit. It was cool to talk to him, and one thing that I thought was funny was like it seemed like the other families were more excited for LJ's performance than Lyndon was. And Lyndon's he's one of those guys, he just doesn't show all the excitement,
what's funny is like anytime LJ would do something, I'd go look over to him and he's just sitting back like this.
Yeah.
Like, did you not just see what he did?
Yeah. And so it was cool to kind of see that and get the opportunity to be around him. We weren't sitting right with him. We kind of went and got our own space. We had one of my buddies, Josh, with us as well, and went up, got our own space, but then just being around that the family environment where it's like, these aren't students, these are these kids' parents, out there playing. And it's always cool to see that. That was something I thought was really cool last time.
Yeah.
But it was a really unique environment. And so
also something I was going to add is like for us, like you remember last time we got super excited when he'd come in there and make a block.
Yeah.
Like we were going crazy. He'd block somebody and we'd go crazy.
Right.
And then we went down there last time and he was making he had like 2 40-yard runs.
Yeah.
It was so cool to see him like make a big play like that. Or actually, I mean, obviously he was doing stuff for the team, but to that extent, it was pretty cool.
Like be the one carrying that ball, you know.
Yeah.
Not for sure. And so then kind of snap past the game. They get the win, you know, we're all hyped for them and whatnot. So we're heading down to the field because kind of how they have it set up. I don't know. Like you're not supposed to go on the field at first, but eventually like LJ just tells us to wait and then meet him on the field. Like,
well, technically you have to have a pass to get on the field. But, I mean, we know LJ.
Yeah. Right? And so LJ just told us to just wait, meet him down on the field. So we're up top waiting for him. LJ goes up to his interview. He had an interview after the game and, he's hugging all the coaches' wives and like kids, talking to their kids and stuff. And, then he goes up, gets his interview. We're chatting with him a little bit, goes back down. Then we get the opportunity. Well, guess I completely skipped a part. So as we are walking, we're walking over to the field to go like down in that area where we had to wait, where I was just talking about, we're walking there and we see LJ getting interviewed. He got interviewed twice this game. Immediately after, then later he went up somewhere and got interviewed. And as we're walking, I was like, oh, there he is. There he is.
Yeah, he's on TV.
And so then me, Caden, and Josh, we're on like kind of left side, swerving through traffic. We all immediately go to the right. As we're there, that mom.
Mom that we met before the game at the tailgate.
Yes. She's there like, oh my gosh, you guys weren't lying. You guys weren't lying. Just going crazy.
And then she was like, that's their friend. She was like turning around telling everybody. Yeah. That's their friend.
Yeah, that's their friend. They know him. Yeah. They know him.
Yeah.
And then it was super cool. Then you had everybody like jumping on us and like all like hyped and all this. And it was like, we were excited too, you know, so we were right there all hyped with them and whatnot. And, so that was a really cool experience. Like that's something I wish we could have had on like camera to like show type of thing. Like just the immediate support he was getting from people, you know?
And one thing I'm going to add too is I'm going to be honest. I was so just like caught up in the moment, like seeing LJ play. I didn't record anything.
Yeah.
Everything that's recorded, you have.
Yeah.
So I was just there. I was enjoying it.
Yeah, no,
seeing LJ play,
and that's the thing, kind of on that aspect is like, and technicality, this is a business trip, but at the same time, it's like we're going down there to support him. Like that comes number one before any business with this. You know, like if we weren't doing this podcast, we'd still be up there watching the games. You know, and so I think it's important on our sake that we record stuff, and next time we'll do better with getting stuff. We're planning on making one more appearance up there this year and going with a large group of people, which I think will be very cool. I have some cool ideas.
You haven't even told me them.
Yeah, right. I've been plotting it up. Some cool ideas we could do in support of him. You know, getting down like in the student section or like getting on the front row of one area, you know.
You need to get some signs or something.
Yeah, painting our bodies, you know. My brain's been going, you know. And so but then we finally get to go down onto the field, which was super cool, which, you know, funny, like here's a topic that's a more base topic we talk about. Think of how disgusting those fields are. You know, we were talking about that when you're out there because it's a turf field. You know, and it's in a dome.
Yeah.
That thing is.
There's no insulation or anything. Like, there's no airflow.
Yeah, like just think of like we saw. We can throw the photo in. The guy throwing up.
I'm gonna put the video. Up
yeah. Bro was throwing up on the field. You know, and he's throwing up on the field, and that just sits there for however long. All the blood on that field, like just all the bodily fluids on that field, like. You know, but here nor there, you know, it was really cool to be on that field.
For sure.
I got some videos on the field I'll send to you. And just like with it being a dome, one thing that was really cool, but also like I could see it being
an issue.
An issue was the big lights just blaring down. You know, you're turning for a fade ball.
Yeah.
You got those lights blaring right in your
especially
eyes.
like in the corner of the end zone.
Yeah.
Where you got to look up for a ball. Those lights are just right there.
Yeah. And so that was really, really
that could be an
cool
issue.
to see, you know, like it was cool to kind of be down on the field and stuff like that, you know? And so, and one thing I'll say is you got to remember, this isn't a KU, this isn't a K-State.
Yeah.
And like those environments are different. You know, you can compare those to an NFL game. This is its own category in a sense of super small town, super small amount of people in a big, huge stadium. You know? To where I don't think that the craziness of what happened is like really
noticed.
Noticed for how the situation is in that area, you know. But yeah, so then after the game, you know, we got some flicks with LJ. It was cool to get down on the field, see him and whatnot. And then we go to, after the game, we leave and we go to Pizza Ranch, the buffet. And all of us, we all going in there. LJ pays, we pay, or LJ pays, I pay, Caden pays and Josh pays. We go in there, we're all eating. LJ paid for his meal. It's just a buffet, and LJ did not eat a single plate. Not eat a single plate.
He didn't eat anything.
Yeah.
Didn't even get a drink.
No, didn't even get a drink. But while we were there, it was kind of cool. There was fans, you know, coming up, talking, asking if we're a football player. No, we're not football players. We're just, so you guys drove all the way up here for this? Like, most boring drive in the world, but you know,
it was worth it.
Yeah, it was. We couldn't have came down to a more perfect game.
That was something I was going to add at the beginning. Is an overtime game.
Yeah,
they win in overtime. LJ did what he did.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the perfect game for us to come down to, especially the fact that we can only make so many games because of how far South Dakota is.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
Yeah, and like, especially like with me working weekends always, unless I get off and over, like, I got to have like 6 weeks in advance to get off on the weekends.
Yeah.
And so that aspect of it was, you know, makes it where it's a lot harder for us to make those things happen. And it's like everything has a dollar sign on it. Now,
for sure.
Granted, we're blessed that we're able to do it as affordably as we do, you know, with having a place to stay up there.
Definitely.
But that whole it's just really cool, you know. And if anybody ever gets a chance to go up there and see it, you know, I'd recommend it. Especially though, like, but you can't go into it with an expectation. You know, you got to remember it's two different worlds, really, you know. But yeah, so then we go and LJ does not eat a single thing, and then after that, you know, we go back to the house. We're all exhausted.
Yeah.
Took a nap at like 6 o'clock at night, you know, and then we all just hung out after. But it was LJ's body was banged up, you know. Dude took his shirt off and just has like black bruises everywhere, you know. And kind of on that note, you know, like, I think it's super important that, you know, everybody you know, we've talked about it a lot in the sense of like injuries, but making sure if you're playing at that level, you're maintaining like keeping your body up to date and,
especially recovery after
games. And like recovery too. And it's like, I don't think in my brain it process, like, we talk about injuries a lot, but the whole keeping yourself healthy to avoid injuries, you know, that's not something we've got to talk about a whole lot, you know.
Well, it was also a shocker to me because obviously I didn't play football in high school. And seeing LJ like that, like, I can't imagine, like, every running back, like, especially, like, I mean,
well, see, and even at that next level,
I was going to say, like, NFL running backs, like, is that what their body looks like after every game?
Yeah, right.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, and so it was a unique thing to kind of see that aspect of it too. You know, you could see the pretty and the dirty side. Not all the dirty with the practices and training and all that, but you know, we got to kind of see the gameplay and watching LJ study until midnight before the game and then get up. Like, dude was sitting there studying until midnight, went to bed a little bit before midnight, and you know, making sure he had everything locked in and whatnot. And it was just kind of cool to really see some of the it's some of those things like we ask athletes, like, what does it take, that preparation and whatnot for different things, or what does a week look like? And I feel like we got to see that like day before the game. Like, dude was just, he was
locked in.
Like whole time we were driving, he was in class, and then he was in class till like an hour into our drive. Then he's just in meetings the rest of the night, and he had to lift that morning, and it's just crazy to see. And then it's like off the field, off the required practices, he's still in the playbook, still going over things, still practicing his knowledge, writing things out, and there truly is a lot that goes into it, that I think is unrecognized in a sense. And so hearing about all that, or seeing it all and hearing it, really put it into retrospect, in the sense of the realistic side of it, not just, I understand you. You do football 8 hours a day.
Especially like, again, you have better perspective than I do because I didn't play football. Baseball, you don't really study film. There's no film to study. So I was always under the impression that maybe they do look at some stuff and then you go to practice and then you got a game. But no, it's when we got down there, he's on his laptop watching play, replay it, watch the play again, see little stuff, write notes down. I was like, dang, this is like a whole class right here. Homework. Dang.
And then like kind of on the next day, like I started to talk about, originally we kind of had planned like, he'd go to his stuff and then he had to have a little gap and we would go get lunch then leave. And he was gone from 10 a.m. to like 6 p.m., which is straight football stuff. And I think his lunch break ended up being slighter than he thought, like 30 minutes, and so like that, even that day after, like, you get to sleep in, but you spending your time here, getting ready, getting your body right, getting the lift right, getting in preparation for next week, watching what you did wrong. Granted, I don't know all the film that they watched, if it was past or current, and I don't even know if he was allowed to tell us any of that, probably not. But so it was just, we firsthand, that's kind of what I took away, is we firsthand got to see
the ins and outs,
like a little sprinkle of some of the things that go into it, the
behind the scenes.
And so that was a cool aspect of it. But I mean, trip was really cool. Drive back was miserable, just long. And then
through Nebraska.
And then we're beating a storm. Halfway there. That was a little concerning. But so it was cool. We're definitely gonna, if possible, make another trip up there. Obviously, you and me both have a lot going on outside of here and whatnot, but we definitely want to make a trip, especially because we got a few plans of things we want to do whenever we get up there too for this next trip and whatnot. So it was an enjoyable experience and definitely do it again. But coming off of that as well, we want to look to either hit KU or K-State as well, and kind of get that. It won't be the same exact thing, but definitely go up there, experience it, kind of get some film, or not film, but videos of what everything's like, the atmosphere differences and some of those things, but all of it.
We won't have an inside. Well, I don't know.
I mean,
if we'll have an inside guy,
we won't have an inside athlete, but we'll have like inside people on
for sure.
Maybe the life of a student at one of these schools or something like that, and get some of those aspects of things, and just different perspectives. And that's what I think is something cool that we are getting the opportunity to, is bring people that get to see all these different things, But so we're definitely gonna try to make another trip up there and whatnot. So I think that's all I have on the aspect of the whole trip. I got one other thing I'm gonna cover, unless you want to throw anything else in.
I mean, that was everything pretty much.
So I guess kind of announced it at the end of another video, and here we are announcing it at the end of another. So those that don't stay all the way, I don't really know. We're gonna start advertising it hard, but we have two people that that I'm close with and have introduced Caden to, where we are planning on starting what will now be kind of like a, I don't know, would you say third? This, you're in Emily's, and then there's podcasts that we will be kind of doing the dirty work for, and then just helping other people kind of get the opportunity to build their thing. And so it's important to us that we get to promote them as much as possible and whatnot. And so 2 friends of mine, Devon and James, Devon James podcast.
James.
No copyright.
Yeah.
But 2 buddies of mine, Devon and James, they'll be starting their own podcast here soon, where the theme of it is going to be kind of a ESPN styled, I guess you would say, more professional, I think is the proper way. Sports show where it's going to be strictly sports, and then, different segments, different things involved with that and whatnot. Yeah. So something to be on the lookout for. I'd say probably realistically, first thing will probably get posted realistically 2 to 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
2 to 4 weeks max. So that's something to stay on the lookout for. Something that me and Caden will be involved with pretty heavily, especially you.
But obviously from behind the scenes.
Yeah, from behind the scenes, me more so with kind of the physical things in the sense of helping build scripts and getting different guests on there and stuff like that. So, something that we're pretty excited to officially announce. We've got contracts written up and all set in stone with that. So keep a lookout for that. Then additionally, check out your podcast with Emily. What's it called?
We haven't started that one really yet.
Okay, well, be on the lookout for it.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for it.
Still breathing podcast. Yeah.
So be on the lookout for that. Got a lot of exciting things coming. We're still jotting up ideas. One thing that we've really been talking about we want to do is kind of get into the kind of outside the podcast world, but get more into the ghost haunted
exploration
theme
adventure,
of things, going and checking out places legally. I don't know why I did this, but legally that are haunted places, and kind of getting to see if we see anything crazy, get our own perspectives on everything and whatnot. And we got 2 guys directly, like I mentioned last time, my buddy Jackson and my buddy Jared, going to tag along with us for that. 2 people that are kind of into that type of stuff. I don't know how deep into it, but have an interest in it and are excited to do that once we actually start dabbling around with that. And that is something that I would expect in the next few months to kind of officially be out there. So keep an eye for that. That one's a little bit more of a out there announcement and whatnot. So
pretty much to generalize it, just more of outside of the podcast content, more in person. What is it? IRL stuff. So
and then we're just kind of like you said, just looking to build more in person things that we get the opportunity to talk about on here, especially with how vague this has become, in a good way, not in a bad way. So something we're excited for, and we hope to get to spread some of the things that we find and do with everybody. So I think that's all I got. Perfect. So kind of keep an eye out for everything, and thanks for tuning in today.
And subscribe.
Oh, this was the other thing. We have a few people kind of lined up here soon. That'll be interesting guys. We have one of your guy who is playing the ML or Major League, minor league baseball.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we got a minor league baseball guy queued up here soon. We got another parent of another D1 athlete that is very involved with that community that they play at. I'm not going to put names out yet because nothing's official. Kind of have more on the local rapper side of things coming. And we just got a few things queued up here soon that you will be seeing in the next few weeks. I don't know in what order and in what fashion, but
I will add, nothing at all is set in stone, but we definitely will have some sort of content planned out with Sir Charles because he's oh yes, that is you doing that remind me she's gonna be on one of his songs. One of the, I don't know, what are you? / part host, part production. No. For this podcast. Yeah.
So
one of our very own.
Yeah. So that will be some. I don't want to get into things we've talked about, but there will be some very cool experiences that will get to come with him and get to collab on certain things. Definitely. So be on the lookout for that as well. I don't know. We have so many planned out things, and that's just grain of salt of all of them. Truly. So just continue to be tuning in. The more everybody watches and the more support we get, the more that we are able to do with branching out and doing everything, So keep an eye out for everything, and thank you for your time today. Go check out LJ's South Dakota game. They got North Dakota next week, or
State.
number one team, in FCS Nation. So keep an eye out for that. Go tune in and give them some support. Thank you.